So I went back to my boss. I was like, so it looks like I might be able to make a good little penny on the side if I, get a business license. And he's like, well, okay, how is that going to work? And I was like, well, I think working in other people's systems makes me also see the errors in our system. So that would be one thing. Also, we're building relationships with other agencies that may be getting ready to sell, and we're always ready to buy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of a different way of building a bridge, or looking at somebody being like, hey, maybe it really is time for you to retire.
Yeah.
Let me put you in contact with somebody.
Yeah.
But it ended up, so I got my business license, I got a couple of clients, and then the consultant that we worked with was like, hey, if you can get a couple of testimonials and a couple clients under your belt, I'm happy to start referring you to some of my clients that I know could really use your help.
Wow.
So through that, we've ended up coming up with an entire process for her. She's doing everything remotely right now. And I've done all the training guides of how to set up the system and how to look at what you're looking for and running reports. And at the same time, I'm implementing them in our office as well.
Yeah.
So it's something we were already doing. It just was taking it to the next level, cleaning it up, making it nice, pretty, putting a bow on it, and then saying, okay, team, tear it apart.
Yeah.
And the staff here is happy to tell me when I've done something wrong.
Oh, well, pardon me, Mr. Perfect! I guess I forgot that you never ever make a mistake.
They're happy to, be like, oh, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then I can go and fix it.
Well, that's a beautiful part of culture, right? So many people don't want negative feedback, and negative feedback is where
if all I ever got was positive feedback, I wouldn't grow. I mean, I need to know what's wrong or what's broken, because I thrive on trying to fix it or solve the puzzle.
Well, that's what fulfills that vision of being ahead and staying ahead, right?
Right.
It's going to break down. Entropy comes into play, and everything's going to break down, or something new comes out. So you have to allow for that feedback. Yeah. How do you guys, or do you, is it important to you? We want feedback, but we want it constructively, or, do you have a filter on that to try to, some people, like you said, people's feelings, right? There are some people that have never been around constructive criticism, right?
Correct.
So how do you navigate that?
I think I've gotten to know each person individually pretty well. So I know kind of their attitude and how well or not well they will handle any situation.
Yeah.
So I think it's just tailoring the conversation to each individual, which is really important. I can't talk to person A the same as I can talk to person B.
Yeah.
One of my team leads, I can call and we can be swearing at each other like we're going to kill each other.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the call, we're like, okay, still love you, bye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the other one is more of a, okay, here's what we need. Here's the steps we need to do. Can you take this from here?
Yeah.
Call me if you get stuck. Yep. The other one is like, okay, this is messed up. You need to fix it. Call me when it's done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just kind of learning each person's learning style. And I mean, their style to begin with is really important as well.
Yeah.
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Well, I think that's what's a lot of times misunderstood about the golden rule is treat people the way you want to be treated, right? Mm-hmm. But I think too often we filter that as, well, this is how I learned. This is how I receive information. What's the problem? I'm giving you the same opportunities I got. I'm yelling at you just like my mentor yelled at me. And it's
that was my struggle moving from, I wasn't necessarily management in my last location, going into a management position was, if there was an error, it was the end of the world and it better be fixed, and it was your problem, and somebody was always at fault. Whereas here, it's like, okay, this is a lot bigger. There's 20 people. There's multiple options for things that could have gone wrong. Where in the process did it fail? And what can we do to prevent it the next time?
Yeah.
But it took a whole lot of, again, I've had to learn everybody's personality so that I could train in a different way.
Right.
Before it was, here's how we do it. Here's why. Here's the numbers. And this is what we need.
Get on the same page. Yeah. Yep.
And I think you run into the wall so many times doing that, then you're like, oh, what do we maybe need to look at that's a little different?
Yeah.